Do you want to give your characters cool accessories but don't want to redraw them in every panel of your comic? Then this tutorial is for you. We'll explore several practical tricks that can speed up your workflow and make drawing accessories much easier and more efficient. Accessories from brushes and images. Decorative brushes are a well-known trick, but they are incredibly powerful. You can use the default ones, browse assets for more variety, or create your own brushes to match your style. Check out my tutorial on creating decorative brushes for full guides and tips on making pearl necklace and chain brushes. Simple and ribbon brushes on vector layers. You can easily add a chain or necklace to your character using a decorative brush. These types of accessories are best drawn on vector layers, because you can use the various line correction tools to tweak their shape, change their size, or even adjust the thickness in certain areas to create a perspective effect. Stamp brushes. For accessories made of a single element, like an earring, a simple click on a raster layer can save a lot of time. You can use a bead from a pearl brush like in this example, download brushes from assets, or create your own stamp brush using a custom accessory. The metallic part can be drawn quickly with a simple hard brush. Check out my tutorial on drawing metals and gems for tips on shading the metallic parts. Accessories from image materials. Another alternative to stamp brushes is using simple images. If the accessory is plainer, like glasses or this pendant, you can simply transform the layer into perspective. Quick 3D effect. You can create a simple 3D illusion by duplicating the layer and placing it below the original, offset it slightly and darken it to create depth. For distant views this is often enough. For close-ups, draw the parts connecting the two planes and, if necessary, redraw the lights on the bottom layer. How to blend the accessory with the rest of the artwork. Hide unnecessary parts using a layer mask. Easy shading. Blend the accessory into your illustration by clipping new raster layers to it. Use a layer in normal mode to soften the texture if the accessory looks too contrasting or distracting. A layer set to multiply is perfect for adding shadows in dark purple or blue, while an add glow layer allows you to add bright highlights using pale yellow, or any color of your scene's light source. Glow dodge or overlay modes can add additional color variation in more detailed illustrations. Add outlines and borders for line art. If your artwork uses line art, you don't have to draw outlines for the accessory manually. There are two quick options you can use. Layer border effect. Select the layer or folder containing your accessory, open the Layer Properties palette, and click the circle icon to add border effect. Set the thickness and color of the outline. Clicking the bucket icon transfers your current color to the border color. This feature is great because the border updates automatically as you edit the accessory, but it maintains a uniform thickness and color. Line art from selection trick. For more organic-looking line art, Control-click the accessories layer or folder icon to create a selection. Expand it by a few pixels to match your line art and fill it on a new layer below. Then nudge this layer slightly away from the light source to add immediate depth. You can also use the liquify tool to introduce more variation in thickness. Expand and pinch modes allow you to change the line art's thickness quickly. You can easily color this type of line art as well. Simply lock the layer's transparent pixels and paint on it to give the accessory a more luxurious and colorful look. Cast shadows. You can create a cast shadow using the same trick. To save time, duplicate the layer created with the line art from selection method. Fill it with dark blue or purple, whichever fits your scene, and set it to multiply or darken. Transform the layer to position the shadow. Use liquify to make it follow the surfaces of nearby objects. Erase areas where the effect fades or soften the edges using a blur brush. Remember that the further an object is from a surface, the more blurred its shadow becomes. Accessories from 3D objects. I really wanted my character to wear this cool watch, but I'm not good at drawing technical stuff, and drawing it in every panel would be plainly impossible. Fortunately, Clip Studio Paint allows you to easily use 3D objects in your artwork, whether they are default models, downloaded from assets or the internet, or created by you. While we won't focus on camera controls today, I want to show you some of the most helpful tricks for integrating 3D models into your 2D art. Color with lights. In the Subtool Detail palette, or Advanced Tool Settings in version 5, in the Light Source tab, you can control the direction, color, and intensity of your light, and even enable cast shadows. But that's not all. In the Object List tab, you'll find Direction Light too. Turn it on, select it, and adjust it in the Light Source tab to add more depth to your object. The best results usually come from placing the second light opposite the main light. To return to the main light controls, simply click the object on your canvas. But that's still not all. Do you want to see something funny? The watch was originally gold. If your model's original colors don't fit your character, you can use high-intensity colored lights to recolor it, like using a saturated blue light to turn a gold watch into silver. Note: ambient light is best for recoloring, but it doesn't work with models imported as FBX, like this watch. Try using directional light instead. Fog. Fog can add depth to large objects, but it can also help smaller objects blend more naturally into your artwork. Outline for quick line art. In the Outline tab, you can adjust the thickness, opacity, and color of the object's line art. If the outline doesn't look right, open the Preferences tab, go to Rendering Settings, and experiment with the offset amount. Lower values follow the shape closely, while higher values create a looser outline. Rendering methods. In the same Preferences, Rendering Settings window, you can choose the rendering method. Goro and Fong provide similar soft shading, but Toon is great for metal-like effects and works well for comic or webtoon styles. Since version 4.2, when you drop an object onto the canvas, you can also choose realistic rendering. Unfortunately, as of version 5.0, this option cannot be changed afterward, and not many assets materials support it yet. Realistic rendering allows metallic materials to reflect an environment image or panorama that you set as the ambient light. Save erasing with clipping planes. Let's say we want to place goggles on a character, but that would mean we have to erase the back part. Instead of using masks, you can let the 3D clipping planes handle it. This option is also found in Preferences, Rendering Settings. Disable Set Automatically. This feature may seem hard to understand, but imagine it as two planes always facing the camera. Only the part of the 3D object between them is rendered. By moving the far plane closer, you can clip away the back part of the object. Start by estimating a value that cuts through the object, then fine-tune it using the up and down keys. Clipping planes can also be useful for quickly removing foreground objects, such as parts of a car for interior scenes. Work efficiently with layered materials. To quickly reuse accessories in your illustrations, comics, or webtoons, convert them into materials. You probably know you can register a layer as a brush tip or image material, but you can also register multiple layers of different types and even folders as a single material while keeping all their effects, modes, and editability. For example, you can save a folder that contains a chain on a vector layer, a clipped fill layer for color adjustment, preset shadows and highlights layers on multiply and add glow, and a pendant on an image material layer, which allows repeated transformations without losing quality. You can even add border effect to the folder. To register it, simply drag the entire layer folder into the material palette. To use the accessory, drop it from the material palette onto the canvas, and it will retain its full editability. You only need to move it into place, transform it, remember to enable change vector width to keep the brush size. Adjust the vector path using line correction tools, mask out unnecessary parts, and adjust or redraw the highlights if needed. For the pendant, you can add a 3D effect using the trick mentioned earlier. This workflow works with all layer types, even 3D objects. I registered the watch as a material in the same way, including clipped layers for color adjustments, highlights, and shadows. Even though the watch is rotated differently in every frame, I only need to adjust the 3D light directions and repaint the shadows and highlights on the clipped layers. Since the layers already contain the best highlight and shadow colors, I can quickly pick them directly without needing color swatches. Conclusion. With these techniques, you can save a huge amount of time while still giving your characters stylish and detailed accessories. Once you set up a smart workflow, instead of redrawing the same details over and over, you'll be able to focus more on storytelling and character expressions.